the Caddo of Texas recalled how the violence of mankind displeased Nico, the supreme being, that he caused a great flood, which destroyed all but one family, consisting of 4 persons. They told that the only spot uncovered by the water was a cave atop a very high hill, where the male and female of all the kinds of animals were preserved, and that after the flood had continued 1 moon, they set a bird, called by them a wa, at liberty, which returned in a short time with a straw. They have a memory of Noah's Ark as well, which they replaced with a raft. The Caddo, together and many other tribes of the region, used to meet on a special day every year upon the hill where they believed their ancestors found refuge from the flood. Here they would offer sacrifices to God for not destroying all of mankind. The Alabama associated the flood with divine judgment, and other tribes, including the Calshada, Tuskegee, and Apache, have flood histories with Genesis parallels. The Creek spoke of 2 doves that returned with a blade of grass as a sign that the flood was subsiding. We have seen abundant and conclusive evidence from their historical traditions that the first tribes of the U.S. knew of Noah's flood. The earliest explorers of Canada and the Arctic regions of North America found the knowledge of the flood among all the tribes they met, in remarkable correspondence with the Genesis account. We possess over 36 Aboriginal traditions of the flood from this area alone. There are several accounts of creation, the fall, and the Tower of Babel as well. Make no mistake, these traditions do not speak of a local flood or some generic flood story. They match the Noahic flood account on several specific details. There can be no doubt that they are referring to the flood of Noah, described in Genesis. There can be no doubt that they are referring to Noah's flood, described in Genesis. Now we must make an accounting for all this evidence, for it has many implications for us. How are these traditions, with remarkable similarity to Genesis, to be accounted for? Is it merely by chance that they resemble Genesis? Are all these traditions in historical records inauthentic? Are Christian missionaries to blame for all this? Let our atheist friends make that argument, if they are prepared to do so. And we are just getting started. There is so much more wonderful evidence that we have yet to discuss, from the tribes and nations of the rest of the world, showing that they remembered the Noahic flood. The truth is, the only explanation that will work is that the Genesis report of the flood is true. God's flood happened, just as the Bible says. That has tremendous implications for us. And just as God lovingly rescued Noah and his family from the flood with the ark, Jesus lovingly gave up his life for us to provide perfect atonement and to rescue us from the judgment that our sin debt. Herbs, thank you folks. We hope you enjoyed this series. If so, give us a like.
I